this is fascinating. This is a document from Corporal Payne, Brett Payne. We heard from him before. And it's talking about after Kohberger's been arrested, there's an inmate in the Ada County Jail that contacts the investigators and said, hey, you guys want to hear what I think about this Bryan Kohberger guy? So they go and they interview him, and it's fascinating what they basically hear from this roommate. Not roommate, I guess the cell is next to Kohberger. They didn't put anybody in there with him. But here's what he said. This is what he told Brett Payne, Corporal Payne. He told me that Kohberger would often question him about his past criminal offenses and why he was in the maximum security wing of the jail. I asked the inmate what he thought of Kohberger's intelligence. The inmate stated Kohberger was the smartest person he had encountered while in confinement. He went on to say the inmate told me that Kohberger quickly became annoying because of his habits. He told me Kohberger would wash his hands dozens of times each day and would spend 45 minutes to an hour in the shower. I asked the inmate, this is Payne, if Kohberger slept at night. He told me Kohberger would be awake almost all night and would only take a nap during the day. He said he could hear Kohberger moving around, shuffling all night, which also annoyed him. And then Payne says, I asked the inmate if Kohberger ever lost his temper. He told me that on one occasion, Kohberger was video chatting with his mother, which the inmate said he did for hours each day, while the inmate was watching sports. The inmate yelled out, "You suck," watching the game, whatever he was watching, at one of the players on one of the teams, in which point Kohberger then got up, put his face out of the bars, and aggressively asked if the inmate was talking about him or his mother. Wow. Jack, what do you think of that?
It's a perfect example when we think about what the police are trying to accomplish. If the question is what evidence can you glean from this? Well, sometimes, especially early on, even after the arrest itself, you're trying to understand who you're dealing with. You're trying to understand the kind of personality type, the intelligence level, maybe his absolute, almost obsessive desire to have everybody around him assume he's the smartest person they've ever met. That is all about how you're trying to understand somebody who you believe murdered 4 people. How does this potentially take you down a different path? If he was all about trying to be brilliant, that was part of his MO, well then maybe you can use that. Maybe that's something that you can do. Or if he's thin-skinned, or he gets angry quickly, or he seems obsessive compulsive, his washing his hands 45 times a day, that may change how you do the investigation. So this is actually really smart of these investigators, these detectives, to start digging into what it is that people see about him to see if it changes and how they can look at the case differently when they move forward.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, those are some interesting points, because when then you're talking with someone like Kohberger and interviewing them and trying to get more information, you can use some of those things. Like you said, play off of his ego there. He thinks he's maybe the smartest person in the room. You could use that to maybe get some more information.
If you don't mind, let me grab into that space, because that's exactly what I was thinking about. So years ago, and Ted and I, we've talked about this, as Kelly, you and I have as well, I did interrogations for the Central Intelligence Agency. And part of what that was about was trying to understand what made people tick and why. Because the concept amongst some was that, oh, you torture people to get something done. Frankly, that's not really how this works. But what you do is you figure out what drives the people to do the things that you want them to do. For some people, it is actually about stroking their ego. It's actually about figuring out that what they need more than anything else is affirmation. What they need is for somebody to tell them that they're brilliant, or that I'm terribly confused and that you need to help me understand a case like this. And that may have been one of the things that they were trying to do with them.
Yeah, excellent point.
Yeah. And it's interesting, he's interested in the other roommate, the other inmate. He's like, hey, what are you in for, buddy? And he, again, Mr. Criminology, I want to get into your mind. It's a bizarro, that's for sure.